Everybody, welcome back to the Bearded Bonsai YouTube channel. Today we're going to be working on trimming and shaping up this wild honeysuckle. As you can see, this one's quite large. I've let it grow, get out of control. So we're just going to clip it back today. I don't think these are typically a popular bonsai tree. This one was actually growing on the back of my property. I actually chopped it down with an axe, and then after it sprouted back up again, I dug it up and potted it. These things are highly invasive, pretty much indestructible. They're incredibly hard to kill or get rid of. So if you're experimenting with bonsai, they're a great way to start because you're not going to kill it. Or if you do, that's quite an accomplishment. So let's get started just by taking a look at it. As you can see, it's got a really nice wide root spread, big thick trunk. It's kind of blocked here, but I'll open that up so you can all see it. So just like with most bonsai, you kind of want a basic shape to be a triangle. So if you're not sure where to start or how to get going, always keep that in mind. So if you can kind of get the frame outlined, it's a good place to start. We have our concave cutters and we have our pruning scissors. I'll probably go with these cutters on this. These things grow incredibly fast, and some of these branches are pretty big around to just use regular scissors. So one of the things I did in the past was this branch here, I actually have it secured to the main trunk around the back, so that is the this is the actual apex of this tree. So just like many other deciduous trees, we want a high degree of ramification. In other words, a lot of little branches, not like one super tall lanky branch. So to get that, you have to constantly cut it back, let it divide, cut those back, let those divide. So on this one, for example, we're just going to go back to like the first node and cut these off. So if you can see it here, it's looking better already after just a few cuts. You can see the curve of the trunk line, the apex up here, and then as it goes down, it's starting to flare out. So these branches here are just, they're not serving any purpose. They're coming off the front of the trunk where you would want your eye to go to. They're coming right at you. So right off the bat, those are just going to go. Clear that out, and now you can see this trunk and these roots and how much character that this tree actually has to show, and it's starting to look really cool. So what do you do with something like this? So right off the bat, like, this just has to go. It's wild, it's crazy, it's ugly, it's breaking the shape overall. Like, it just has to go. So I'll cut it back here, and hopefully what we'll get where these two leaves are is more branching and we'll start to try to build that out. Much like this one right here. You can see it came out, we clipped it, now it's spreading. So we're going to clip it again. And by doing that, we are kind of directing the tree where to grow. If this is all you do, this is where the clip and grow method of bonsai comes from. You just constantly clip it, let it grow, clip it again. So we're going to do the same thing. Looking at this, it just all needs taken back, and we need to get control of this tree again. Now this part here, if I can try to make a background, you can see it's actually starting to develop rather nicely. You're getting a lot of smaller leaves here. You're getting more ramifications. So I'm happy about that. These trees, the way they typically grow, as you can see, they're very upright. They shoot out these huge leaders. There's not a lot of branching. So I did this as an experiment. Like I said, these are a nuisance plant. They're all over the place. They're taking over the understory of all the woods around this area. They're incredibly invasive, hard to get rid of. They spread like wildfire, so they're not thought of well, so they're not typically used in bonsai. So this one just had such a cool trunk and root flare. I figured I had to at least try it to see what happens. So this part here it's showing some promise. That's actually looking kind of nice. So that'll be a nice little kind of mid-layer pad. You have the apex here, and hopefully now you're starting to see it kind of take shape. So let's work on this side a little bit. Now I actually like what the tree's doing here. It's filling out nicely. However, if you don't clip these, they will just keep growing out straight almost indefinitely. So I like the length that these have, but at the same time, we need that length only with a lot more ramifications. So I'm going to go ahead and bring these back a little more and see if we can make that happen. So if you or anyone you know or have ever seen one of these worked on, please leave me a comment and let me know. I'd love to see it. I'd love to see how they handled it, what they decided to do with it. Same with these. We're just going to trim them back so that we get more branching instead of one straight branch. And we're just going to go around and repeat that process all the way around. Now you see, if hopefully you can see, this little branch here is kind of growing straight down. So regardless of the tree you're working on, that's pretty much always going to be an automatic cut it off, because anything going straight down will typically not serve any purpose other than just look bad and spoil the shape. Now this shoot here, I actually might end up using that, so we're going to leave it for now. And then again, this one here, it's growing back towards the tree. We want the tree to flow out this way. So anything going back at it, we're just going to take off. So it's starting to take shape for you. Hopefully you can see. You can see the overall shape. You have that kind of classic triangle that you get with the tree. So kind of the plan over time is just to keep developing this. Like I said, it's an experiment. So the tree was free. Just cost me the sweat to chop it down and dig it up. So we'll just keep going with it and see what happens. This will be the main leader. And we will keep refining it so that hopefully that ramification just keeps on going all down through here. You have this cool gnarly branch here in the front that will hopefully kind of form like a little secondary apex. You have this one here, which in the future I will probably use like a guy wire to hold it down. So you can see that kind of opens it up and widens it out. The proportions just look a lot better. And then again over here, kind of do the same thing. So maybe you can see envision the future of the tree there. But again, the thing that makes this one so special is this trunk. Just the lines, the texture, the age that it shows. It looks like a really old, really gnarly old tree, which is what you're always after with bonsai. So I think that's it on this one for now. And I'll probably have to trim it down like this a couple more times this summer. These things just grow and grow and grow. They're almost like a giant weed. So we'll we'll leave it as is for now, and we'll see what happens. So there it is, a giant invasive honeysuckle. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully you took something away from it. If you have any comments, suggestions, questions, always leave them in the comments there just below, and we'll get to them. So thanks for tuning in. Have a great day, and see you guys next time. All right, so here you have it. It's done for now. This was actually this tree's second styling. So just over 2 years ago, I cut it down and dug it up, and this is where we're at right now. So every time we go through and do this, the goal is to make it a little better and a little more refined. So everywhere we cut today, hopefully it will split. We'll let that grow. We'll cut those back. Those will split. And that's what ramification is. Just more branching, more branching, more branching. And if you've ever seen mini bonsai at all, any really nice ones, that's what makes them nice. It's the tight ramification. So I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you've learned something. I'm going to step behind the camera now and bring you in closer to see the detail of the trunk on this, since that's what makes this one so special. All right, so check that out. So this Nabari, or root flare, is probably, I'm guessing, about 18 inches across. And then it has all these crazy hollowed out areas, weathered, textured wood. It's actually a beautiful tree. It really is. And if you see on the top right here, you can see the marks from my axe. So the plan is to refine that with a Dremel tool, smooth that out, make it look more natural. And this piece of wire is holding this new leader that will be the trunk to the back. So hopefully it will kind of fuse together. I'll pull out here a little bit so you can see the entire tree here.